O Jah, Rastafari, bless us the children of humanity with thy love and thy mercy, and bring us forth as the children of immortality. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night. And if you have your faith in the resurrection, you can have your part in the redemption. And if you have your hope in the redemption, you can work on pray for salvation. Just clean up your heavens with your meditation. Put love in your thought and in your action, with some amount of courage and a little decision. And never put your hand to no destruction, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night. While the sun a rule the heavens by day, and the moon a rule the stars by night. Make sure your love light keep shining bright. Whether you rich or you poor, you black or you white, hold on to your key and hold it up tight. Even though the wicked them a give we a fight, the truth and the rights is the strength of we might. And never make no evil tarry in your eyesight, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night. So we chant a little prayer in the morning, say another prayer at night. Chant a little prayer in the evening, say another prayer at noon. Because Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. Every breath that I take and every step that I make, yeah. Jah is the essence of my life. But afraid of them done, them in it all night. And if you have your faith in the resurrection, you can have your part in the redemption. And if you have your hope in the
travel all over through the worlds of Jah. One thing I know for sure, my roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I traveled. My roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I traveled. Europe I travel, England I travel, America I travel, I travel. My roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I travel. My roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I travel. How can I forget my roots? How can I? How can I forget my roots? How can I forget my roots? My roots, my roots. been all over through the words of Jah. One thing I know for sure, my roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I traveled.
You're tuned in to the spiritual vibration.
I always remember the road
Dr.
I
Iman Black
traveled.
sitting in with Sister P.
Oh, my roots.
Dr. Iman Black sitting in for Sister P. Spiritual Vibrations.
Oh yes, my people, my roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I traveled. My roots I'll never forget. I always remember the road I traveled. My roots I'll forget. I always remember the road I traveled. My roots I'll forget. I travel.
Yes, this is the Spiritual Vibrations right here in Stars FM. Your host sitting in for the eminent Sister P is the Iman Black.
I went to a party the other night. They said it's gonna be right there. But when we were at the party, I was disappointed. All we could hear there was the crocodile. All we could hear there was the shooby-doo. And the music they played there was not good for a Rastaman, was not good for any young man, and now I'm going back to my roots, reggae music is all that I need. I'm going back to my roots, reggae music is all that I need. I'm going back to my roots, reggae music is all that I need.
Yes, good morning. Greetings from Spiritual Vibrations. Hailing all the people in this wet morning in Port Antonio. Hailing all the taxi drivers, all the bus conductors, all the students, all the people who are moving. Say greetings from Spiritual Vibrations. Hailing also the people out there in the world who have been connected to this program. Greetings from Spiritual Vibrations. Sister P is on assignment. Some deep mission in some distant part of creation. We hail Sister P. Yes, powerful woman. I'm just holding the fort until the 5th. And we give thanks for another opportunity to speak. This is Black by Sunshine. Yes, the I man always within the night. I man come out with their sunshine, speaking to the people from a different perspective. People are on the move, people are thinking, people are working. And within all of that, we have to maintain our spirituality. We have to maintain our African vibrations. Yes. So gather up. Tune in to this program. We go from 9 to 1. In studio is the all-enduring engineer, Cassidy. And the TDs close by, and they're all monitoring to make sure that Sister P stays on the radio. Yes, I'm here to help maintain the program. So we're going to look at things African, we're going to look at things cultural, we're going to look at things that relate to black people on this island. How do we improve our standard of living? How do we change the quality of our lives? How do we improve the discourse? And how do we become more familiar with things African? Spiritual Vibrations, Stars FM. I'm on Black sitting in for Sister P. Music, rolling.
For a Rastaman was not good for any Jackman. And I'm going back to my roots. Reggae music is all that I need. I'm going back to my roots, reggae music is all that I need. I'm going back to my roots, reggae music is all that
Yes, I want to also remind listeners that the lines are open. The numbers are 453-1444. Program is streaming live on the internet, www.stadsfm.com. And it's on the radio, 96.1, 96.7. Again, hailing all the people in Port Antonio, people in Portland, hailing the people in St. Mary, all those gates in St. Mary and Hills. Big up to the people there. Hail the people in St. Thomas and all the way down the coastline. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Vibrations. In this edition, of course, I will use certain sections to speak to specific issues that affect our underdevelopment and speak to some things that can help to bring us forward out of the doldrums of enslavement to the level where we are in control of our own destiny. There are many in the world who feel that their destinies are already been set, particularly the people who are in Christendom. So they have no future except hell or heaven. And I want to deal with the practicality of earth and the resources that are here for everybody and should be distributed in a way that people have running water, that people can have good electrical services, people can have basic needs met. These are some of the issues that I want to deal with as we go through this vibration. But we're going to look into something very early. We're going to look into the psychology of what it is to have a spirit. I want to look at what are vibrations. The program is Spiritual Vibrations. So I will explore spirit. And I will explore what are vibrations. Because black people always talk about the vibes. What then are these vibes? And how do these vibes operate? Where do these vibes come from? And can we control these vibrations. What then is spirit? What's the connection between the spirit and your vibrations? Right here, Stars FM. So we have spirit and we have vibrations. What is the source and the essence of thy spirit? And when we talk about spirit now, we recognize that we're talking about something that none of us can really see. Because spirit does not exist on the level of vision, eyesight, light waves. We're unable to perceive spirit through the physical eyes. But how do we know that spirit exists? What is the essence of this thing called spirit? And can we separate spirit from history? And can we separate spirit from culture? We're getting into the spiritual vibrations and we're exploring the essence of spirit. Because the people of melanin, the black people, African people, we always consider ourselves to be very spiritual people. Sometimes we even argue amongst ourselves as to who is more spiritual. To the extent that the argument can escalate into violence to prove who is most spiritual. So I will just explore the concept of spirit and to see whether spirituality is connected to its origins, whether spirituality is connected to culture, and whose culture should we embrace in this search for spirit. Spiritual Vibrations right here on Stars FM. Yeah, I want to explore the whole concept of the spirit. Because we have people going around acting as though they have more spirit than other people. But recognize also that the concept of spirit exists within the whole notion of being drunk. Yes, the spirit. So the liquor rum shop also is a house of the spirit. So two things established now to define spirit for right now. It's a church who tell us about spirit, and it's about the rum bar who sell the spirit. But what is the spirit of the African? Where do we find the spirit of the black people? How do we define spirit within the context of black people? Not within the context of the church, not within the context of being drunk. So, in order to make that clearer to ourselves, we have to search our own story. So to find the concept of history of the spirit, we have to go into the history of African people. Because we're searching for the origin and the genesis of the African spirit. And the African spirit cannot be the same as the spirit of the Indian, nor of the Chinese, nor of the Caucasian. What then is the spirit? Does spirit have a racial orientation? Does spirit have a biological foundation? Because certainly the spirit cannot dwell in thin air. Certainly the spirit needs some kind of groundation. So where do spirits anchor? And how do we define the spirit of the African? What is the importance then of vibrations? And do vibrations relate to our spirit? Exploration. This is the spiritual vibrations. Searching for self, searching for our black consciousness, around which we can rally to build our economic salvation. Because the salvation that the black people are searching for is not spiritual, it's economic. Yeah, we don't want any spiritual salvation. We are searching for economic salvation. Because the spirit is what it is, which is what we are searching for. What is the spirit of the African? How does it come into being? We know about procreation. We know that the egg and the sperm comes together and form an individual. But how does the spirit of that individual come into being? Yeah, who can get up and speak about that process? Who has the authority to condemn individuals because of their spirit? And how does one individual become so self-righteous that they begin to judge right and wrong amongst other spirits? We're looking into the notion of spirit. Is it about air or is it about energy? And is energy not all about motion? And is that motion the foundation of vibrations? Spiritual vibrations on Stars FM. And the beat goes on.
Feeling is taking over me. I'm so excited.
Feel the euphoria.
Tuesdays from 5 to 9 p.m. with the Master Mixer Musical Maestro Digital Team.
Giving a total satisfaction with melodies and memories by the score. With the widest selection of genres and hits. So you don't know that program you turn up, you know. So you know Patek's a full dance, the one you slap with.
Digital and we are party. Yeah, we flawless. Euphoria the program every Tuesday.
5 to 9 every Tuesday.
With the Musical Maestro Digital Team.
I'm on the go, I'm on the go. I'm on the go, I'm on the go.
You've been standing like that beside the radio all day. Haven't you heard about Stars FM on the go?
With Stars FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, it's 020-3670-1330.
It's that easy? Wow! Stars FM on the go? I like it!
Lumber, cement, steel, plyboard, plates, cups, shower curtain, sheet. Then this now go take me all day, man.
Daddy, Mommy said I must go a business depot.
I need to find somewhere with ample parking space, gives discounts, does delivery, and has the most courteous staff.
Why, Daddy Duffy?
Yes, Builders Depot, right at Industrial Estate, Longwall in Barnes Bay. I call them at 715-3128 or 284-3337.
Because I'm me I tell him, we got Builders Depot over there, so
check them out.
Builders Depot, once you need it, we have it.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
Spiritual Vibrations on Stars FM. Dr. Iman Black sitting in for Sister P, taking you through the paces of our African consciousness, bringing the levels of identity to a higher level. So identity is a vital aspect, so is spirit. But what are really vibrations? You know, vibrations just simply mean movement. When you think about vibration, you think about something shaking, something trembling, vibrating. So at the foundation of the concept of vibration, there is movement. So now, for something to vibrate, it must move. So the idea of vibrations is at the foundation of the making up of the universe in which we live. Everything is based upon vibrations. And I give you an example. You see a stone sitting on the ground. You see a stone lie down, or a piece of wood lie down. You don't see the wood moving. You don't see the stone rolling. It's stationary. So at one level, you might think that it is not moving. But if you ever begin to examine what is it that makes up the stone, and you begin to look at the material and the sand, and you go deeper into what makes up the gravels, the grains of sand, and you get into atoms, and then you get into protons and neutrons and electrons, and you recognize that at that subatomic level, there is movement. The electrons are traveling around in the same way the planets go around the sun. There is movement. There is motion. That is vibration. So vibrations are at the foundation of the movement of things in the universe. And there is always motion. There's nothing that is really stationary. There is always movement. So vibrations are always being generated. So within the individual therefore generates vibrations. Vibrations coming out of the brain because the individual is thinking, and vibrations coming out of the skin because the individual is feeling. Talking about the African who thinks and feels, who uses both brain and skin to receive and to send out these vibrations. Of course, all of this is connected to the individual, and the individual is tied up with its history and culture. So ultimately, it's difficult to separate your culture from your spirit. What then is your culture? What is your culture? Is it African? Is it black? Your culture defining your spirit.
Taken away, they were bound in ships and shackled all the way, like baggage and brought to the west. They swapped my brother now, also my sister too, for a drink of wine so they could drink and be merry, so they could drink and be merry. My sister speaks Swahili. They put us both together now. That's why we can understand. That's why we can understand. We are the slave descendants from the African race. The African race. The African race. We are the slave descendants from the African race. We're proud, it's no disgrace. We're proud of the African race. We're proud, it's no disgrace. We're proud of the African race. We're proud.
Yes, the spiritual vibrations continue. Almost leak out. Something else almost leak out, Cassidy. Yeah, this is a way of life. We are in the media and we are involved in several projects. At this moment, sitting in for Sister P on the spiritual vibrations. Of course, I'm exploring the whole concept of vibrations, exploring the concept of spirit, because as black people we claim to be highly spiritual. Sometimes we get so spiritual that we become conflicting and begin to involve ourselves in other people's lives to the extent that we try to define how they must live. That's how spiritual we claim we are. But there's a limit, and there's a difference between being spiritual and being over-righteous. There's a difference between spiritual and just being righteous generally, because righteous is a concept that is problematic, because what is righteous to one is unrighteous to another. So we're talking about behavior. And much of this is driven by culture. So when the African people have been disconnected from their culture, we take on all these sort of weird, aberrant behaviors and beliefs. Strange behaviors, fear of sex, fear of all sorts of things that are irrelevant to the liberation of black people. So the movement of the spirit is grounded in your culture, is grounded in your history. And if you don't know your history and don't have a grasp of your culture, you have an alien spirit within your own self. And that alien spirit will embrace all sorts of alien doctrines, things that frighten black people, scare them away from themselves. Like hellfire and judgment and all these terminologies that have been created by a set of people to keep the black people in fear, to suppress the spirit, to depress the spirit, and to turn the spirit into a slave and a servant of false ideologies. So it's a very serious situation I have to deal with when we talk about spiritual vibrations. And how do we recognize now the spirit that is African? Because the African spirit is the foundation of all spirituality. But the African people have been disconnected and have been lined up behind Roman philosophies and Christendom that has kept them dumb. Yes, because when you're dumb, you don't think. And the greatest power that I have is the power of thought. So the spirit, in order to be liberated, must have its own range of vibrations. It must be able to can vibrate naturally within its own process of thinking. So it's important that we explore our identity, our spirituality, whether we should disconnect from the alien ideology of Father, Son, and Ghost and connect ourselves spirituality to the Father, Son, Father, Child, and Mother construct. These things affect the spirit. Because if the spirit is connected to fantasies, the spirit will live in an illusion. The spirit must know reality. And reality is our story, not his story. The reality is the black story. So moving into identity within the spiritual vibrations. And we're looking at whether we are really Jamaican people. Who is a Jamaican? What is a Jamaican? Who is a West Indian? What does it mean to be Caribbean? And ultimately, we'd like to know who really is a white man and what is the Caucasian. Yeah, these are forces we have to contend with to know the spirit in this spiritual vibration on Stars FM.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
So Sister Lorna Beck is saying peace and greetings to the people of Port Antonio. Port Antonio people are now celebrating a famous victory in football that has lifted the town mentality higher. Yes, the Port Antonio football team, schoolboys, throw down Mushet from Trelawney in a mud fest, 3-zip, and have put themselves in position to get to the semi-finals. This is uplifting for the Port Antonio and the wider Portland community. The team will go into battle for its quarter-final match, and the hope is that a victory will send Port Antonio and the Compre team into the semi-finals. The parish needs a boost, and sport is a tremendous motivator to bring people onto one level of consciousness. We need that same movement through sports within the culture of our identity, that we begin to rally around and celebrate our blackness, not just in February, but it becomes a part of our DNA. Yes, hail and congratulations to Port Antonio Compre. Hopefully, the journey has just begun, and hopefully, the town of Port Antonio will be able to celebrate what has never happened here before, which is the winning of a major schoolboy title. So, The vibrations. The vibrations. Yes, the vibrations are building. Keep it going.
As they fly away home to Zion, away home. One bright morning when my work is over, man will fly away One bright morning when my work is over, man will fly away One bright morning when my work is over, man will fly away Say one bright morning.
Where did we lose our identity? Now, where did we lose our identity? We're running around like a lonely sheep. Yeah, who's lost his master and he's gone astray? We have lost it. We have lost it. We have lost it. We have lost it. When are we gonna join in unity? Tell me when. When are we gonna join in unity? Everything else pleases Jah, but it's only man. Now, everything else pleases Jah, but it's only man. We have lost it. We have lost it. Yeah, we have lost it. Where did we lose our identity? Now, where did we lose our identity? We're running around like a lonely sheep. Who's lost his master and has gone astray? We have lost it. We have lost
Can we recover our identity? Can we reclaim our identities? First, we have to know it. What is the identity? What is the notion of identity? What is your identity? How important is that concept to the eye?
Everything else pleases Jah, but it's only man. Yeah, everything else pleases Jah, but it's only man. We have lost it. We have lost it. We have lost it.
Yeah, I just want to spend a little bit of the time now just looking into this whole notion of identity. Because we started out looking into spirit and vibrations, and we're moving into the identity concept. Because you hear people telling you that's important that you have a fully developed knowledge base, perspective of the notion of identity. Some people don't understand the importance of that idea, identity. What is it that makes up a person's identity? And when do you actually get this thing? In order to really help us and ones listening, we have to think into procreation. We have to look into the process of birth. Normally, amongst the black people culture, the people are told to trick them children, tell the children that them drop out of the sky and start, bring them on a sort of cock and bull story. But if we were to use our educated minds and our intelligence, we can find these answers. So we have to begin at the beginning. How do we come into being? What is it that brings an individual into existence? We understand the process and we call it procreation. The three-letter word for it is sex. So we know that there must be some activity that must take place to bring an individual into this being. So when does the identity of that individual come into existence? Well, when we look at it, it takes two forces to come together to create an individual. And at the subatomic level, at the biological level, we know it requires a sperm and we know it requires an egg. But the process of that creation sometimes is not explained. Because for that sperm to get to that egg, we have to realize that it is a man who releases millions of sperms at once. Millions of sperm. And all these sperm begin what we call a race. This is the beginning of the race. What is a race about? It's about getting first to the egg. So you can see that there's a sort of inbuilt drive in the male to be first. Yes. So the process of understanding identity and self begins with a little knowledge of what takes place at that point in time. We tend to want to close our eyes and become ignorant and superstitious about these factualities. But hear me out. So the male releases millions of sperm, and these sperm race each other, trying to get to the egg that has been released. This is a serious battle. And in the journey, millions of sperm die along the way. The weak fall by the weak side. And the strong sperm continue the journey. Ultimately, after a couple of days or maybe years within that time, a few sperm come in sight of the egg. And the race intensifies, and more sperm start drop out. But it is the fittest and the strongest and the most determined of the sperm that will get inside that egg. And it is the egg that defines which sperm gets in, based upon the vibrations of that sperm. So there's going to have to be some coordination at the level of vibration. So the egg is vibrating, the sperms are vibrating, and it is this egg that defines which sperm comes into itself because of the rate of its vibration. So I try to explain to the item how I and I come into this existence. How does the I come into being? The relative connection between vibrations and spirit. So once the egg and the sperm connect people, enough things take place. At the physical, at the psychological, and at the spirit level. We have to explore ourselves from that genesis. Not from the genesis created by a story of man in a garden who was made out of dirt and a female that is made out of his ribs. We're not into the superstitious, religious construct of the I. We're dealing with the I from the biological, the physiological, and the psychological level. That is the reality of black people. Spiritual vibrations, probing identity.
journey. I say. Right over there, right over there. Ice green and gold, it's the rainbow. 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 The rainbow.
So we're getting greetings from Nairobi, Kenya. From Anthony Gichimu. Him say him can't wait for Your Majesty return. But in the meantime, we must go and deal with Diamond Black. Yes, my brethren. Give thanks anyway. All the way in Nairobi, Kenya. The people on the African continent. We say hail up. People in Ghana, people in Southern Africa, people across that black continent who are locked into Stars FM. We say give thanks for your links.
Again around the rainbow circle show. The lion crowned the king. The lion crowned the king. In Addis Ababa.
Rastafari, within the context of identity, goes on to the notion of being African. So how does the African now fit into this construction of the individual? We know that the level of identity, the first level of identity that is set up within the egg and the sperm, is the sexual identity. Because the individual now will either be defined as a male or a female, based upon the organs that come out and the amount of hormones within the body. So the sex is a basic identity, your gender. Whether you're a male or a female, that's an identity. The Roman society of today is trying to conflict those identities, turning males into females and females into males, apples into oranges. But I understand that it is really two important principles, the male and the female. And within the black African culture, you are one or the other. There are mythologies that speak about both genders in one body, called a hermaphrodite. Remember the South African runner. The he, she, both organs. So we understand that. But the fundamental creation is that you're either male or you're female. The second level of identity that is in the same mode as the gender is your race. So you have a racial identity from the moment the egg and the sperm connect. Yes, a racial identity. And it is defined primarily by your skin. So if your skin is black at the conception, then you cannot deny your blackness. If your skin is black at inception, then you're a black person. You're a black individual. And so your identity would be black and either male or female. So how does the spirit get involved in this? Well, I and I are saying to let them know that the spirit aspect comes through the history and the culture of the parents. And it's through the parents that the notion of spirit comes forward. It is a connection between that egg and that sperm that links up into another dimension to bring forth the identity that is grounded in spirit. It is the African way. It's called the re-existence of ancestral forces. So the identity is crucial. Sexual, racial, and spiritual. But the spiritual is not grounded in no Bible. The spiritual identity of black people has been here long before the Bible was even written. So it cannot be defined by no European. The African spirit can only be defined by the African people themselves. Serious thing. We are African in spirit.
I'm on the go, I'm on the go. I'm on the go, I'm on the go.
You've been standing like that beside the radio all day. Haven't you heard about Stars FM on the go?
With Stars FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, it's 020-3670-1330.
It's that easy? Wow! Stars FM on the go? I like it!
At Eve and Jer Variety Store, we have the most exquisite clothing for men, women, and children. Need boys and men's underwear, dress shirts, and marinas? We have that. Ladies, Eve and Jer Variety Store, you can source the finest female apparel and costume jewelry. Need house supplies? We have that too. Want a 5% discount? Just say you heard about us on Styles FM. Come and check us out at 2 Somerstown Road, Port Antonio, or call
886-4210.
Remember, every last Friday and Saturday there will be a special sale. Eve and Jer Variety Store, we have the best deals around town.
The serenity and tranquility of living in Jamaica resides at Westdown Oaks in Retreat, St. Thomas. With available service lots of approximately 5,000 square feet and optional pre-constructed 800 square feet 2-bedroom units. Westdown Oaks is perfect for your starter home or retirement solution. For sales and inquiries, contact Westdown Development Limited at 876-322-9163 or 876-467-2880 or email westdownoaks@gmail.com.
So bossy,
what's your problem?
See how you make Styles FM 2012 and 2013 calendar miss you? Try your best not make the same mistake again, you know. You know, see how last year them hype up the sponsors them with interviews and non-stop big up in December. Me hear say next year I go hyper. Give them a call no, because spots limited. Contact 876-439-5160 876-439-5160 or email info@stylesfm.com for more details. You hear?
You know what? I am going to call them right now.
Are we independent? It depends on what you call independence. Call it Jamaican dollar, it don't make no sense, and we still
You tune in to Spiritual Vibration.
Can't nobody not think different. Them rather live in an illusion, because the truth of the swallow like a drink. Our coincidence, who have the power of influence. IMF cautions, push button, World Bank pull strings like instruments. Hence, things so tense, broke is to pocket like zinc to fence. Me have to wonder if we would have better off spend pound and shilling and pence. I pledge my heart forever to serve with humble pride. It's shining home than ever, so long as earth is alive. Are we independent? Are in pretense. Gunshots replace pens and pens. Most you cannot trade and the food that you can't afford utensils. Nor the fundamentals, nor the bare essentials. So them take the wrong road down here off course and crash just like a wrench. Or accident, them tax everything down to oxygen. Leaders steer the nation, now the nation it mash up like the taxi them. Fix the dents, or face the consequence. Protest social unrest, been going on for centuries. My heart forever to serve with humble pride.
Heal up my virgin Kasha Black. Heal up all the people them who know how Fireman Black in a different setting. See?
Are we independent? Or indifferent? Do we even care what independence is? Because we sell out to coastline, landline, airline, phone line, online, bloodline, lifeline, deadline, headline, frontline, timeline, electric, light line, train line, star line, clothesline, punchline, lunch line, and natural resources. Gone so far in sources, business so exclusive. Isolate the tourists, in the all-inclusive. Don't give us no excuses, we can withstand the bruises. Tell us what the truth is.
What a truth, what a truth.
Are we the best? My
pledge to this nation.
All who pledge to this nation, sing it loud and raise your hand. Sing it loud and raise your hand.
Yeah, 3 million people on this island. How many of people here call themselves Jamaicans? It's a very strong identity globally, promoted primarily by Rastafari, Marcus Garvey, and our sports and entertainers. It has put out that imagery of a people that are determined, that are what you call resilient, that never say die, but they're afflicted by bad-mindedness and grudgefulness. Yes, that's an affliction upon this population. And part of the cure is to find the source of this confliction, this notion of self-destruction, self-hatred. What is the foundation of these behaviors amongst I and I? But the concept of a Jamaican, it's something that we need to examine closely. Because when we look at our history, the history of the people on this island, the people who were brought here out of the African continent didn't call themselves Jamaicans. The people who were uprooted and ripped from their culture and from their spiritual homeland. And I repeat that. The people who were ripped from their spiritual homeland, meaning the spirit get uprooted and disconnected. And we've been brought into this wilderness. They call it, they carry beyond. But before it got that name, we know that our education system told us that the era was really called the West Indies. No. Leaving the continent of Africa, we are brought into this space and we are given a new identity. We are called West Indians. Okay, so what we see now is black people, African people, being transported across the Atlantic Ocean and brought into a space and given a new name. The new name is West Indian. So they're making a change in our racial identity. Because I and I were born within the race of Africans. But now we are brought into the West and we are taken out of our race. And we are placed into another race. And we are now called Indians. Not only we are called Indians, we are called Indians who are living in the West. Because some Spanish European got lost. A lost sailor locked us into this misconception that have now called the people of African descent Indians. So we'll hug up this concept of being a West Indian. So this is the first psychological educational move to strip us of our African identity. We are now West Indians. And the cricket team rises up to defend its strengths of black people, but they are labeled as West Indians. So here we have a cricket team full with black African people calling themselves West Indians. Serious conflict. It shows up even more when the West Indies team goes into India. And so we have now West Indians playing against Indians. And these West Indians look like Africans. And the Indians look like Indians. And in the West Indian team, we are East Indians who look like the Indians. Heights of confusion. Where is the Jamaican in this mix? Searching for identity. Are you a West Indian? Or are you an African in the West?
Somebody told me about it when I was still a little boy. He said to me, crime does not pay. He
Spiritual Vibrations, Dr. Iman Black sitting in for Sister P, who is on assignment. Looking at the identities, issues of identity, and who is a Jamaican? What is a Jamaican? And you know, tracing our experiences being brought into this chattel condition, enslavement of the physical and the psychological and the spiritual. We are being reformulated. They have to remake us through violence and brainwashing. And in a reconditioning, we are given different identities. We are called West Indians. And then to put matters to the bomb, the colonizers developed one term to fit all the black people, whether they landed in this region or whether they landed in North America or whether they landed in South America. And the one label that they put all the black people under was the term Negro. And that became a word that was described as an official way to classify and identify black people. We were suddenly called Negroes. Now, we didn't come from a continent called Negroland. There is no such place called Negroland. And the Bible that they gave us to read didn't tell us that God said, let us make Negroes. So we don't know where this alien identity comes from. But if you search language, you find that the word Negro really comes from the Spanish negro, which means black. But if you search the word Negro, it takes you to the Greek, which is necro, N-E-C-R-O, and necro means dead. So what the colonizer did was identify us as dead people, mentally dead people, psychologically and spiritually dead people. Zombies is another word for the living dead. And so the classification of Negro, once you embrace Negro, you are defining yourself as mentally dead, a servant to follow any ideology you follow once you're a zombie. And the ideology presents itself as white and pretty and salvation type. Certainly, it will attract. So we have to search out the conflicts in our spirit. Realize that at the level of identity, we were never Negroes, and we can't be Negroes. And hopefully, ones and ones who are listening by the end of this program will reject the whole identity of being a Negro. The Negro also means that your consciousness does not grow above your knee. It is another way to express the knee grow. We're African people. We're black people. We are never Negroes. So on this plantation land, the black people have been twisted and turned in their identities. And to complex the issue, there has been no justice, and there has been no equality, and there has been no fair play to the people of Africa. Yeah, violence and the prison systems, courthouse, that has been the trad. But we're going to change it. We change it with knowledge, we change it with consciousness, we change it with the real awareness of our identity, sexual, racial, and spiritual. Ultimately, developing that which is economic. Because money, yeah, we need money within all of this.
And justice and equal rights.
And money. And money.
Got to get it, equal rights and justice. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Followers of Jesus, everybody wants to go up to heaven, but none of them want to die. I don't want no peace. my share, equal rights and justice. What is due to Caesar? You better give it on to Caesar. Hey, hey, hey. And what belongs to I and I, you better give it up to I.
So the population locked into this island being defined as Jamaicans. And we know that the Africans came to this island as black people. And we know that the Europeans came here and saw people that they call Tainos. We know that the Europeans eliminated through genocide those said Tainos. And we know that the Europeans brought Holocaust on the black people. But they don't teach us that in the history books. They talk about the Holocaust as Hitler's little birthday party killing 2 million Jews. When the Europeans killed 10 million Africans just in the transportation, 100 million Africans would die just in the transportation across that horrid passage. Is not described as a Holocaust. We have experienced several Holocausts. So the brain of the black man has been seriously traumatized, which affects his whole concept of his identity. Yeah, we have lost it, and the attempt is to reclaim it. It is the power of the I. And once we lose the identity, it becomes difficult to build the economics. Look around the world. Look what run. The Chinaman embraces his Chinese-ness, and around that identity he builds his world economy. The Indian does the same thing. The Indians now have a space vessel heading for Mars. The Indians hold on to what being Indian is all about. I don't have to question the white man, because him is the one who promotes this whole racial superiority ideology. And speak about himself in the highest terms, every time. What about the state of the black people? Why are we so hyphenated in our identities? Why are people Jamaican Africans and African Americans and this and that? We are so hyphenated. Why can't we be a conscious racial group? People describing how much they mix with other people and they're more Scottish and they have more English in them. The dominant gene is the African gene. So no matter how much of the other thing you have, you are an African. You are a black person. You are blessed with melanin. Who don't like that, bite it. So them tell me when we went to school. What does out of many one mean? Who is the one? Who is the many on this land of 96% black people? Who is the many? Who is the one? Who has the power? Who has the power on this island? That Jamaica, yeah. This is the Spiritual Vibrations on Stars FM. Dr. Iman Black sitting in for Sister P. keeping the vibrations spiritual. And African, of course. Mighty Heptones. Yes, I shall be released.
They say everything can be replaced.
So the British came and they saw the Tainos, and Tainos called the place Examaica. The British, in their interpretation, decided to call the place Jamaica. And so the black people who were brought here were also given that identity. That identity is not grounded in the racial origins, nor is it grounded in culture. That identity is grounded on the island, this island in the Antilles. And so the island identity is Jamaican. The racial identity of the people is not Jamaican. Jamaican is a national identity. People from other countries can come to this island, and after a certain amount of years and immigration procedures, they too can be classified as Jamaicans. So the Jamaican is a national identity. Powerful? National. The racial identity is around which people build economics and build civilizations. And the racial identity of the people who were brought here still remains African. Still remains a majority, black majority people still on this island. But the island is living in a state of denial, because those who govern are unwilling to define the island as a black island, as a black country. The other small racial groups, Indian, Chinese, and various ethnic groups who control the economic powers of Jamaica, are fearful of the powers that would be unleashed if the black population would be properly educated. So this population is kept undereducated, and it is kept dunce, to the benefit of the other small groups that control the economy. So here we are in the majority, with a motto that tells us out of one, there is many. But out of this one majority of black people, there are very, very few who are enjoying the benefits of the resources of this land. So there's an imbalance. And we can rectify that imbalance by, first of all, realizing who we are. realizing ourselves as an African black people and begin to reject the false teachings of that education system that tells us that Columbus discovered the West. The false teaching that tells us that Europeans brought civilization when they brought Christianity. It's about time we reverse that curse and realize that we were brought under subjugation through Christianity and through the Bible, which led the enslavement of the black people. So here on this island, we have more churches per square mile than any other country in the world. And on this island, we have nearly 2 rum bars beside each church. Talk about spirit, drunk. Arise, African people.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
Mr. Brown, the work material done, you know. What me fi do?
Check Robinsons and Sons Hardware, man. Them have everything you need and more. They are at 18 West Palm Avenue, Port Antonio, Portland. Paints, nails, doors, everything to meet your hardware needs and much more. Call them at 993-9763 or 382-6209 and email them at sandarhardware@gmail.com.
Mr. Brown, me get everything we need quick and fast. Sure. Maybe we could have just stopped the chatting so we could have done the work just as fast.
What was that, Johnny?
No, man. We just say Robinson and Son are going good.
Robinsons and Sons Hardware. We are always here to serve you.
FM 96.1, even 96.7 FM, you don't know the thing go. Every Thursday, fire break, keep the fire burn. Yeah man, 5 to 9 p.m, you don't know the thing go. Fire break, pull up that one, yeah man, you see that with our road best, and that's the one that.
Fire, baby. Fire, baby. Fire.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Styles FM, you're my number one.
Rasamwana. Wewe wakaite iko kushusha vana. Wewe wakaite iko ramba vana. Ona mama beba do pembera beba do kinisa. Inga mama beba do pembera beba do kinisa. Wewe wakaite iko uramba mwana. Wewe wakaite iko shusha mwana.
Yeah, the spiritual vibrations continue here on Stars FM. Want to just get into a little information for the item. Because speaking about Africa, it's important that we have some facts. Yes, facts, not fiction nor fantasy. That our knowledge of ourselves can be grounded in reality. Yes, so we need information, we need facts. The Europeans have made sure that the facts have been confused and they have hidden a lot of the facts, but guess what happened? The place that they call the library, there's a lot of truth buried there. So it's important that we begin to explore places like the library. We begin to read books that are written by people who have a different worldview. So we have to expand the list of people who we read from. If you read from the Europeans, you only get the European story, which is his story. If you read from the African perspective, you get my story. So we listen to both stories and we begin to draw information that is relevant and practical. First thing, the continent itself. Africa is the second largest of the 7 continents on this earth. Yet the geographers have defined that the planet has 7 continents. And they have classified Africa as the second largest. But the ancients had no concept of a Middle East that would separate Africa from Asia. But the ancients recognized that there was Africa beyond the Middle East. We can call the Middle East Middle Africa. Yes, we can call it Middle Africa and recognize that Asia and Africa is one landmass. So the Afro-Asia continent is really what we're all about. It is by a process of separation that we have this idea of Asia and Africa. But they're all black people, people of melanin. But according to their books, Africa is the second largest of the Earth's 7 continents. And it makes up about 22% of the world's total land area. Now that's very important to recognize, Almost a quarter of the land on the earth is Africa. And the earth is only 1/3 solid and 2/3 water. That is the surface of the earth. 2/3 of the earth's surface is made up of water. So therefore 1/3 of the planet earth is land. And after 1/3, a quarter of that is Africa. So maybe now you begin to understand the struggle and the fight by the other racial groups to control this quarter of the land that is available. And on this quarter, we have the richest piece of real estate. So don't think that the Europeans and the Chinese are rushing into Africa because they have nowhere else to go. It is the only place to go. It is the richest continent on this planet. The largest country in Africa is the Sudan. The Republic of the Sudan. It's in the northeastern section of Africa. It has a serious amount of conflict driven by religion, Christian killing in the name of God, and the Muslim fighting back in the name of Allah. Both Allah and Lord God is one and the same. Yeah, one force controlling and dividing. Dividing and conquer through religion. The smallest country in Africa on the continent is the Gambia. But the smallest African country is a set of islands called the Seychelles. Little more are going to go into the islands of Africa. A lot of people don't even know that Africa has islands. Yes, that there are islands surrounding Africa that we can visit and that are places that they call paradise. But they don't tell us about the islands of Africa because, of course, Africa is just a jungle and lion and tiger and man eating this and starvation and war. That is not true. So there are islands of Africa, and I will speak about them as we go through. Now, the largest lake in Africa is the world's second largest freshwater lake. It's called Lake Victoria. This is the Queen of England going into Africa to name this great lake after herself. Her explorers and colonizers goes into Africa and claims these African resources as belonging to them. So it should be Lake Winnie Mandela. No, we have Lake Victoria. It's the second largest freshwater lake. And its greatest known depth is 270 feet deep. But the deepest lake in Africa is Lake Tanganyika. Yeah, Lake Tanganyika. When I look at youth, I hear about Tanganyika. Very important that we understand the natural resources of this mighty continent, that we can begin to claim it. So it has the largest lake, there's the deepest lake, you have to know the largest city, and the highest point on the continent. The highest point is Mount Kilimanjaro. And the Africans know that Noah's waters never covered Kilimanjaro. This is how we know that Noah's flood is a fiction. Because Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest point in Africa, 19,340 feet. There is no water that covers that point on the earth. There's no rainwater that can rise to that level. If we wake up out of that Hebrew mythology, out of that Christendom teaching about Noah and his wash-away world, trying to carry black people's history down the drain to reconstruct ourselves coming out of some ark. Yeah, we have to dismiss that fallacy. Recognize that the African continent has never been underwater. Yes, the African continent has never been flooded. So how could Noah's flood drown out Africa and African history? We don't come from an ark. We are not descendants of Noah. We are black people living on the greatest and the largest continent of this world. So Mount Kilimanjaro is a testimony to dismiss the illusions of Noah's flood. In Africa also there's a lake called Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi contains the largest number of fish species of any lake in the world. Probably over 500 from 10 families. So you see, when we begin to know this, again, Noah's flood becoming like a joke. Because the fish of the sea remain alive. On the African continent, Lake Malawi, it contains 30% of all the known Cicilio species. So we realize that this continent is vast, it is resourceful, and to make it even more interesting, it has two of the greatest deserts on that continent. It has the Lake Sahara, it has the Sahara Desert, and there is the Kalahari Desert. Mighty continent. Africa. Facts we need to know to back up our identity as black people. Spiritually, psychologically, physically.
We bring the vibe, we bring the flow, we bring the sound, we bring the tone. Joyful vibes, sound in a Paris town. Everywhere we go, we move with the sound. Joyful vibes.
strong. We no promote sadness, we do for happiness. Yeah.
Joyful vibes, sound in a Paris town. Everywhere we go, we move with the sound. Joyful vibes, sound in a Washington. Everywhere we go, we move with the sound.
From we are forward, we really don't go backward. There's no other station. From we are forward, we really don't go backward. One destination. Tell them what. Where the guitarist is.
You tune in to Spiritual Vibration.
If tomorrow I was leaving to Zion, then I wouldn't stay a minute more. Cause these ways of life that our children living would let anyone hurt their soul. So the pagan north who divided our children, sooner or later you'll see the divided they fall. Cause some are rob, some are loot, some are shoot. Some are rob, some are loot, some are shoot. Some are rob, some are loot, some are shoot. Then them are rob, some are loot, some are shoot. I am the happy warrior slave, returning with good news today. From my Jamaican people to my African nation. Oh, yeah. If tomorrow I was leaving to Zion, then I wouldn't stay a minute more. These ways of life I am living would let anyone hurt their soul. Oh, if tomorrow I was leaving to Zion, then I wouldn't stay a minute more. Cause these ways of life that
Yeah, so the movement of the consciousness is to get to the point of knowledge, where we know of Africa. In the same way they brainwash us to know of the United States, and know how many states are in America, and know the capitals of all those places. So I must begin to internalize and reprogram ourselves to the knowledge of our own homeland. Remember now, there are no Negroes. There is no Negroland. What we know is a continent called Africa. And so the people of that continent, the black people, African people, must continue to work to remove the chains of false education and confusing religion. It's a process because we were captured forcefully, and we were forcefully brainwashed to accept belief systems. I believe in Jesus as our own savior. The Chinese don't believe in no Jesus, nor do the Indians, and the intelligent white people don't believe in Jesus. The intelligent white people, the intelligent Indians and the Chinese practice science and technology, develop their family systems and their monetary powers. Nothing about no Jesus and no spirit. But to realize in the black culture that Jesus is an avenue to take away the people's money. And through Jesus we remain poor. And a set of people call themselves preachers, collecting money, saving in the name of Jesus. Yes, that is what is keeping the black people impoverished. That false ideology that there is some savior sitting in the sky beside his father. And I'm sure the spaceship that was sent off passed them like a while ago. I'm sure the Indian spaceship passed the father and the son sitting in heaven. So does the Mars mission to Mars, gone past them. We are the only ones here under the foot and under this blood. Yes, under this vicious and carnivorous system that we know love blood, that we want to be covered by blood. And in one denomination, they drink the blood. Talk about identity. That's not a part of African culture. We are not bloodsuckers nor blood drinkers. There are no vampires in black culture. But in the Western cultures, there are vampires and elves and all sorts of goblins, ghosts, some of them holy. Yeah, we have to free yourself with knowledge of Africa, of things before even the creation of Adam, that first white man. And as we increase our knowledge about our homeland, many people are totally unaware that there are islands that surround Africa. Yeah, man, islands. Beautiful places that they describe as paradise. But the tourist product doesn't send black people to visit the islands of Africa. But the Europeans, they go there. They even claim ownership of many of these islands. The French do. The Spanish do. And what are some of these islands? I'm going to mention a few. There's the island of Madagascar. It's off the southeast coast of the African continent. There is Zanzibar, which is really a part of Tanzania. There's Mauritius. There's Reunion. There is the Canary Islands. Yeah, these are islands that are off the coast and can be considered the islands of Africa. We know about the islands in the Caribbean. We know about the islands that are close to North America. But what about the islands that surround our continent? Critical. Critical. For example, Madagascar is a large island nation in the Indian Ocean, which is off the southeastern coast of Africa. It is the fourth largest island in the world and has 5% of the world's plant and animal species. Serious place, Madagascar. Then there's Zanzibar, which is an island that's a part of Tanzania. The beaches there are undeveloped, and the area around the island has an amazing amount of fish. Mauritius is an island nation off the coast of an African continent in the southwest Indian Ocean. And of course, I want to talk a little bit about the Canary Islands. These islands are very, very critical to the movement now of African people into this hemisphere called the Caribbean. There is a Norwegian explorer called Thor Heyerdahl. And Thor Heyerdahl built some rafts out of papyrus, which is what they used to make paper in ancient Africa. And from that papyrus, he was able to build a raft. He called the raft Ra-2, R-A, giving homage to the concept of the Egyptian sun god. And what Thor Heyerdahl did was to build a raft and to sail in that raft from the Canary Islands straight into Barbados. Yes, man, Thor Heyerdahl was showing scientifically and giving evidence that the Africans sailed from the coast of Morocco into the Caribbean. And that if you throw an object into the Atlantic Ocean at the Canary Islands, the current takes that object right into the the Caribbean. And so we have the evidence that the Africans did sail from the Canary Islands into the Caribbean. That the ancient black people, the Phoenicians and the Carthaginians, sailed from that part of Africa into this region called the Caribbean. And if you get to Barbados, which is the first stopping point, then you can journey the rest of the journey to the Antilles. So we have serious evidence that black people were here thousands of years before Columbus. That the Carthaginians sailed from Morocco. The proof is in the expedition called Ra 1 and Ra 2. We need to know about ourselves. We need to understand how we got here. We weren't brought here just simply by slave ships. Africans have been coming to this region for hundreds and thousands of years before the creation of the first European. If you read Ivan van Sertima's book called They Came Before Columbus, we see the evidence that the ancient black people, the pyramid builders, were in this region 20,000 years before the coming of the Christian era. Serious knowledge for the building of our identity. So just to wrap up our little section here on the facts on Africa. The Sahara Desert. I wonder if the ones them know, say, 100,000 years ago or more, that desert was once an ocean. Yeah, man, think about that. It was once called Ocean Sahara. And with that ocean, it means sailing was a critical part of African people inside the continent. That Africans sailed across the Sahara from east to west. That the ancient Egyptians had contact with the Dogon people in Mali by journeying across that ocean. History and time has dried up the Sahara. The Sahara is now expanding as a desert. But if we go into the anciency of our knowledge, it was once an ocean. And across that ocean, black people used to sail to get to the other side of the continent. The Europeans didn't tell us anything about sailing. We are the creators. We have the technology. We have sailed around the world long before Europeans came out of those caves. It is the Moors of Africa that taught the Spanish how to bathe, how to set up institutions and universities, how to make maps, and ultimately how to sail. It is our story. These are facts on Africa.
This is Styles FM.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
With Styles FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, it's 020-3670-1330.
Portlanders, Acan Auto Technology, located at 33 Bombrook Crescent, Port Antonio. Visit us for all your auto repair and servicing. We offer computerized wheel alignment, computerized wheel balancing, suspension checks, AC repair, inspection, and all your auto repair needs. For complete auto repair and service, visit or call Acan Auto Technology today at 715-5205. And remember, we are located at 33 Bombrook Crescent.
Do you have or are you seeking a place to rent, seeking employment or have a job vacancy? Are you selling a car or having a garage sale? Then come see us. Let Styles do the advertising for you and you'll be on your way in no time. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Advertising Style. Advertise with Styles.
So bossy,
what's your problem?
See how you make Styles FM 2012 and 2013 calendar miss you. Try your best not make the same mistake again, you know. You know, see how last year them hype up the sponsors them with interviews and non-stop big up in December. Me hear say next year I go hyper. Give them a call no, because spots limited. Contact 876-439-5160 876-439-5160 or email info@stylesfm.com for more details. You hear?
You know what? I am going to call them right now.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
Economic liberation is a duty I owe to posterity. Great Zimbabwe stands, ancient rock solid firm. Come now, Draco go down. Great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. When they saw Zimbabwe walls, they said it was the foundation. They said it was the Syrian. They said it was the Chinese. When they saw Zimbabwe walls, they said it came from the Iberian. We know it is 100% African. Naga, Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. So who your Vasco de Gama be? So who Prince Henry the Navigator be? So who was your Sir Walter Raleigh? So who was Amerigo Vespucci? Some kind of Johnny come lately, talking about them make some kind of discovery. I man is the living anthropology. I man is the living archaeology. Yaga yaga yo, Zimbabwe wall, real Zimbabwe wall, Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. When they built up the Aswan Dam, it was the Western archaeologists' plan to flood with historical Sudanese land. Afraid of the glory of the Nubian, afraid you will see your connection. Yaga to Zimbabwe, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. So who your Vasco de Gama be? So who Prince Henry your Navigator be? So who was your Sir Walter Raleigh? So who your Christopher Columbus? I man is the living archaeology. Them talking about them make some kind of discovery. I man is the living anthropology. Zimbabwe come now stand firm. Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. Corresponding mathematical elliptical constants in Egypt, Aksum, Zimbabwe and Mexico. African botanical strains of cotton and corn in America and we can trace our steps through botany and etymology. You can't hide the truth forever from me. Can't hide the truth forever from me. Where me mess what is revealed is only right and true. We are standing on the soil that made you. Standing on the soil that made you. Standing on the soil that made you. Are you standing? Zimbabwe won't
Yeah, the spiritual vibration continuing on Styles FM, trying to uplift the consciousness through knowledge and burn out belief. Worse when them based upon jingle bells and them kind of gobbly-goo kind of talk, you know. So in the reality now, as we speak about some facts of Africa, we talk about what is it that builds a civilization? What are the components of a civilization? So we can claim Africa, but what is it that Africans have contributed to the world that is obvious? And we're going to look into the field now of technology. I want to explore family structures. Because here we are in Jamaica now, confused as to whether we are Africans or Jamaicans or African Jamaicans or descendants of Africans and brown people and Negroes, all confused. What are some of the tangible and real contributions that we can say the Africans have contributed to civilization? We need to look at the foundation of a civilization, the foundation of a nation. The nations are built up by communities, and communities are constructed and built up on families. What then is the nature of the family structure of African people? What was that all about? And what is it that we are using today? And the way our families have been so divided and destructive to itself, we have to examine what is it we're really practicing in terms of family. And how did we arrive at the point where we have so many now single mother families? Where are we at the point now where most families in the Caribbean are headed by women? So you look around the street, you see a woman, you see 4 picnic, and you look, you don't see the man. And every time you look around and you see children walking, you see women, you hardly ever see the man there. So we want to know, how did we get into this situation where black families are now driven by females alone, where the male children now have no male guidance, where the male children are now wearing them pants below them waists, the way a woman would wear her dress on her waistline. So the woman wear her dress on her hips, and the man saw dress on his hip too. Traditionally, man put them pants around his waist, and the females could put her dress around her hips. Things have changed. The women are now having them pants around them waist, and the man having them pants around them hip. Family structure has been destroyed. What is the cause of that? When we look at black family on the African continent, it was driven by what we call extended family structures. The Africans never knew anything called a nuclear family. And this is a serious fundamental difference. The extended family is African. It is driven by the community. It is driven by the many. So the child has more than one parent. That's how I and I grew up, you know. That's why people who were elders could call to us anywhere in the street, and we have to respond. Because we grew up in a culture where we respected those who were elders. And elders mean other persons in the family system. So the African family system is extended, meaning there's a mother and a father as a foundation, but then the father has brothers, the mother has sisters, the children therefore have cousins and aunts, and we call that family system extended. If one of the parents was to die, either the mother or the father, the child would not be disturbed to the extent that he doesn't have a family anymore. Because the child's family was bigger than just his mother and his father. That is an African tradition. Now they bring us into the West. And they have imposed upon us a family system called nuclear. Nuclear sounds like somewhere and blow up, you know. Yeah, it sounds like an explosion going to take place. And it does, because what happened? The man and the woman have been locked into a straitjacket. And the man has been told that he can only have one wife, and the woman has been told that he can't have no other woman. That alone is a big conundrum. Because on the African continent, the women were driven by the jealousy and trying to own the man's penis. The woman had a lot of activities in her mind, and she had her family to take care of. In the Western world now, we are all hooked on sex. And so the family system now is driven by one male and one female. One child, 2 children, a cat and a dog. That is a family structure. And the man must have no other woman but she, sounding like the first commandment of Lord God. So when you lock an African black man who is traditionally and historically polygamous, coming out of a polytheistic society, we're having a problem in the West. How does it play out? Them say the man a cheat. The woman a say, me just don't want to know. So how it work out? Concept of bun. And who is the bunner man? And the woman will give back the man bun. So we have these bun factories set up in the island. Hey, what is the result and how does it impact our children? We have to examine this family system, this nuclear thing, this thing that the Christendom insisting, something that is opposite the nature of the black man. Black man now forced to screechy with the other women who don't want to give him a rest because the women them don't want a man who don't have the woman. What a situation. Them say if the man don't have the woman, him is damaged goods. And yet the man have a woman, them rush him, but them tell them they must have no other woman. Confusion in Rome. Hey, we are polytheistic people. We always knew about the gods and the goddesses. We're never governed by no one God. No one jealous God. No one envious God. No one God who is the source of bad mind. We were never governed by a bad-minded God. But check the times that we're in. Check Christendom. And check the nature of this Lord God. Crit of genocide. 10,000 people died in the typhoon. They say it is an act of Lord God. Wickedness on the land.
Let me tell you something. As I was passing, I heard children laughing. As I was passing, I heard children laughing. At the schoolyard gate, I turned around and said, oh children, passing through the world, laughing. And one day, this world will be your super. Oh children,
Hey, Mr. say the studio live, you know, and we are looking on the mass murders committed by Lord God. Hey, black people, check it out, you know. Lord God is a psychopath. Yeah, man. Genocide when the brother strike, you know. Wipe out cities. Wipe out all the whole world, them tell you. And vex all the while. How can we worship such a force that is so destructive? And talk about salvation? No higher. No higher. No higher. Liberation we want to our own black culture. We could allow King James and his version of reality to remain as it is, a fantasy. Let us read African stories. Let us understand the power of technology. The River Nile, the course was changed to engineering by African engineers. Yeah, we have been here doing things long time. You know, I said before the white man came out of the caves and before him stopped drinking blood out of the skull of his victims. We have been building pyramids. We have been studying Orion. We know about Sirius. So we know about the planetary systems. We know about all of the cosmos. So how come now we get locked up into this one little black book? Or we all get tied up into this black book telling us about beginning and end. And you have man going a spaceship and drive past heaven. Man a fly past Lord God in the sky with him sun. Man going to Mars and Venus and Jupiter. Make us wake up. Lift our heads out of that book. That book of curse. That book of the dead. That book that deals with violence and pornography. Yeah man, they call it King James. Wicked guy. And we hold his beliefs. Fire upon the man who preached that.
A very thin line. The games they play to pick up your mind, yeah. Keep us on all the
Yeah, we have to grab education. It's part of the liberation. And we have to recognize now that education or knowledge, when we look into our ancient African culture, particularly the ancient Egyptians, we have a God that we attribute the power of writing to that God. The God Thoth, Thoth, is a God of writing. And writing is the first sign of a civilized people. So the ancient Africans were highly civilized as they developed the art of writing. They developed their own alphabet. And so in the writings of the gods, which was what the Egyptian writings were called, the writings of the gods, we have the contribution of literature to ancient culture. And it's African literature that the Europeans have captured and twisted around. And they've taken our stories and turned them into mythologies, turned them into allegories, and have us all confused. So I contribute to the earth in the knowledge of astronomy, because the Babylonians laid the foundation for European astronomy. We contributed in terms of engineering and architecture with the pyramids, globally, mathematics. We are the founders of mathematics. We are the founders of medicine. We have the great Imhotep. All things coming from the African mind, coming out of the consciousness of black people. Spiritual vibrations insisting that we reclaim those vibrations that are spiritual and driven by the history and culture of African people. Yeah, so it's Yes, we are here again, coming through Spiritual Vibrations. Dr. Iman Black sitting in for Sister P as we explore the systems that we have been exposed to as black people here on this island. Now, part of the redemption comes through education. Education is a tool. David spoke about the importance of education, so did His Imperial Majesty Rastafari. The education system, though, I want to say to the eye, does not really promote liberation, nor does it promote a return to our African identity. The education system that we have inherited and have been given on this island, along with the religious education, those two types of systems have held our brains in an enslaved state. In other words, our school system is British in its foundation, and the church is Roman Catholic and Anglican as the two driving forces in the island. So the African people were forced to become either Catholics or Anglicans. Of course, we know about other denominations that spread out. The Methodists and the Baptists and the Pentecostal and the Church of God and a whole slew of break-off churches led by preachers who claim that they have the way to lead people into this spiritual kingdom. After emancipation, the white men realized that to control the black people, he had to create a set of teachers, a set of preachers. So teachers and preachers became tools of the slave master. The preachers would control the people on Sunday, and the teachers would control the students during the week. The Sunday school was a brutal place, because under Sunday school, the African population were filled with stories, driven to the depths by fear. Fear of hellfire, fear of the devil, fear of Satan, fear of Lucifer. All of these fears of characters that were driven by the religious education. So the religious education gives the people these things to be afraid of. Religious education does not teach black people about African continent. It doesn't teach black people about the wealth of the continent. It tells the people that they must die and go to heaven. So we are giving up our natural rights for some alien rights. And these now are being professed by people who call themselves preachers. And they come in male and female. First time it was only males. But they realized that to capture more people, you have to have some females. So we have all these females going around now claiming that they are saviors and that they can lead these other women to Jesus. Because Jesus now becomes the centerpiece for the people on the plantation. This blonde hair, blue-eyed character who they hang up on the walls in this half-naked position, that the women lust after Jesus. Yeah, the man are almost naked. So when them look up, what do you think them looking upon? They are looking right into the man's pen. And they're seeing that the pen is. And that becomes their fixation. Yeah, it's women. The men are not fixated there unless I'm funny. But the women are locked onto Jesus. They're locked onto the sexuality of Jesus. Because most of these women don't have no man. And most of these women are stifling and suffering from lack of sex. Education system tells us that sex is a basic need. Education system tells us that food, clothing, and shelter and sex are basic needs. So how can you deny a basic need? Serious problems, serious complications on this plantation. The spiritual vibrations continue. So do we accept that we have basic needs? All living persons have basic needs. And we'll explore what are the basic needs. The education system tells us food, clothes, and shelter. And they give it to us in that order. But knowledge and experience shows us that the order is in reverse. Yeah, they'll give us a lot of our teachings in reverse. And so that's why we're so backwards in everything we do. Much things that we do, we are very backward. So if food is first, then food will become the centerpiece of your meditation. And all you think about is food. All you think about is your belly. So there's never any time when the brain becomes engaged for the development of thought. The meditation remains on food and your belly. And there are some radio people who keep emphasizing this eat of food. The eat of food becomes a meditation now on this island. Everything a man say is eat of food. So we don't think anymore. So the reality is that the basic needs are not really food, clothes, and shelter in that order. But the primary need for all living beings, first and foremost, is shelter. Because if your belly full and you have no shelter, in a short span of time, you'll be becoming like a raving madman. But if you have shelter and no food, you can hold a meditation and decide and identify where is the source of food and go out and get it. So shelter is the foundation for your meditation, for your thoughts. It's important that you have shelter. And people who are moving around from place to place know exactly what I'm talking about. When you have no shelter, when there's no fixed shelter, you're always moving in the mind. There's no stability. There's no thought. There's no building of ideas. So the education system that we inherit from the British gives us all of these things in reverse. Marcus Garvey showed us that land is the basis of all power. And so I know within our basic needs, as much as we crave for food, we should secure shelter. We should secure land. So the education system that we have in Jamaica now, don't tell us to own the land. They tell us that we must simply work. And it is the overseas people, it's the foreigners who are coming in to own the land. We have to reverse that process. Food, clothes, and shelter? I'm saying no. I'm saying shelter, food, clothing. The priorities can be reversed if we want to change our way of living. The system also tells us that it's more important for us to be poor than to be rich. The religious system tells us that it's more difficult for a rich man to get into heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. So here we are now. Religious education is encouraging us to be poor. And the education system is encouraging us to simply fill our belly. So where and when do we develop wealth? How do we build money? And is not money a basic need? Because the society that we live in order to have the shelter, the food and the clothing, certainly it is money that prefixes all of those things. But they don't teach you in school nor church about how to develop money. There's no course on money. But yet, to have the basics, physical things, we need money. So I'm saying to the item, make us start develop some positive ideas about money. How do we attract money? I asked my sister recently, what is the purpose of money? She said, for spend. I said, then when you spend it, what do you do after that? She said, work for more money. So she get locked into a cycle of working and spending. So I said, when do you invest? She said, what that mean? She said, when you spend our money, she said she invests. But I said, when you spend the money, you don't make any more money. So, people, investments and savings should come before spending. Yeah, think about it. Investment and saving before spending to increase money. Yeah. Spiritual vibrations, knowing that the world doesn't run along spirit only. The world is driven by money. So the love of money cannot be the root of all evil. The love of money is not the root of all evil. It is the lack of money that drives people outside of themselves. It's not the love of money. It is the lack of money that is causing I and I problems.
Right now, man, say repatriate, repatriate. I and I patients have now long time gone. Fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, everyone. 400 million strong. Ethiopia stretched forth her hands. Closer to God, we Africans. Closer to God, we Africans. Closer to God, we can. In our hearts is Mount Zion. Now you know. Seek the lion. Our hearts is Mount Zion. Now you know. Now you know. How can we sing in a strange land? Rally round the red, gold, black and green. Rally round the red, gold, black and green. A bright shining star. Yeah, Africa. Catch Starliner right now. Yeah, Africa, Africa. A history no more, a mystery. Africa, Africa. Respect and authority.
This is Styles FM.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-price promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Earn money by selling Digicel phone credit from your Digicel phone at any time from any place with Digicel phone to phone. Available at Source Card Center. Digicel phone to phone allows you to send credit from a special account on your Digicel phone to the phone of the person you're selling credit to. And Digicel phone to phone works with any model Digicel phone. For more information, visit Source Card Center at 173 Mountain View Avenue, Kingston 6 or telephone 978-3119. That's 978-3119. Source Card Center, your wholesale phone card distributor.
Every time the fire break, keep the fire burn. Yeah man, 5 to 9 p.m. You don't know the thing. Fire break, pull up, pull up, pull up. I want them on the road.
Fire, baby. Fire, baby. Fire.
So, bossy,
what's your problem?
See how you make Styles FM 2012 and 2013 calendar miss you? Try your best not make the same mistake again, you know. You know, see how last year them hype up the sponsors them with interviews and non-stop big up in December. Me hear say next year I go hyper. Give them a call no, because spots limited. Contact 876-439-5160, 876-439-5160 or email info@stylesfm.com for more details. You hear?
You know what? I am going to call them right now.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
Featured artists in the segment, the group called The Techniques. Featured artists on Spiritual Vibration. Hope you love it.
I'm still searching to find my love, hoping she will come along. These days, to this traveling man, I am
more techniques. Spiritual Vibrations and Stars FM. Dr. Iman Black sitting in. So Sister P trying to keep it real. Greeting all the people in North America who are listening to Spiritual Vibrations. People in the Florida area, people in the West Coast of the United States, people in the East Coast, people in the Midwest. And we give thanks to the people in the UK, people in Canada who are connected to Stars FM and the part of Sister P's Spiritual Vibrations. I'm on Black, just trying to keep it in motion.
Just a ministry. Song to you I sing. You're just a ministry. In life we're so far apart. Royal Queen, I see love in you. I love you.
With all the people in Town Talk, all the people in the market back, all the taxi man them at the stand, Bellow, Rumpel, hail all the taxi drivers in Anata Bay, Port Maria, Golden Grove, Ocho Rios, you name it. Hail, wherever you are.
These things I ask of you. Majesty, could you really care for me? As long as you love me, and it won't be so hard. As long as I see love in I love you too. Oh yes I do. Your Majesty, Your Majesty, oh I love you.
So I want to hail a brother who just linked me from overseas. Ray is in Toronto. Apparently he's a regular caller to Sister P's Spiritual Vibrations and he's full enjoying the substitution at the moment.
She's been good to me, Lord, and it has been so long. Believe me when I say sometimes we have more lovers quarrel. Lovers quarrel. Don't you know, don't you know, don't you know? That's all in life. All in life. She always lives the life she loves, and she loves the life she lives. That's why I love my girl so. My girl is a good, good girl.
Yeah, rockers in the early morning, right here on Stars FM. Yes, sun blazing now, approaching the mid-hour. And at the midday hour we shall give praises to the Almighty Son that is dwelling in the heaven.
She always lives a life she loves, and she loves the life she lives. That's why I love my girl so. My girl is a good, good girl. My girl ain't no play, play girl.
Okay, Sister P, I hear that you're on the line and you're giving thanks that the program is going through. Hope you appreciate, love, and approve of I efforts to steer the vibrations for a moment at least. We're moving into the paragons, great groups, harmonies, voices, lyrics. No one word, 2 word, and repeat it 100 times. Thought into the music. Good job.
Everyone will be there on the beach where there is a party. We're gonna have a ball, dancing and a singing and a whining and all, holding hands together and a laughing and all. Then we'll dance, 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 dance. Oh, oh, oh. One more box of abs, says the man to the bartender. One more box of abs, says the man, I won't surrender. We're gonna have a ball, dancing and a singing and a whining and all, holding hands together and a laughing and all. Then we dance, 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 dance. Oh, oh, oh. One more box of abs, says the man to the bartender. One more box of abs, says the man, I won't surrender. One more box of abs on the beach where there is a party. Up just like that. No, it's not the things you do that really hurts me bad, but it's the way you do the things you do to me. I'm not the kind of man who gives up just like that. No, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one, number one.
Yeah, the powers of rocksteady, the powers of the culture, powers of the music before the slackness take over. Yes, positive music.
Wants you to be his girl, but I'll wait, my dear, till it's my turn. I'm not the kind of man who gives up just like that. No.
You say, instrument. Listen to instrument. Listen to instrument. Talk. You're tough. The mighty Paragons coming out of an era when thought went into the sound and much emotion.
Every man wants you to be his girl, but I'll wait, my dear, till it's my turn. I'm not the kind of man who gives up just like that. No, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one. The tide is
More Janos, more Paragons, mighty group.
number one. The tide.
Oh, whoa. Know them tune, yeah? This is Black by Day. Yes, this is Blackness in the Sunshine. Check out Memories by the Score.
Just like the dew that cling to dawn, I'll cling to you, my love. I can't erase the memories of things we used to do. Oh, I love you, girl. Oh, how I love you. Now I sit alone with memories by the
Yeah, we're rapidly towards the midday hour. Yeah, man. People at work, just full joy the rhythms and work positively. Yeah, man. Do what you're doing in the best way you can, with the best attitude presented. Yeah, let us begin to give service to each other rather than servitude. Make we lift up the consciousness and the behavior amongst I and I. Yeah, we need to.
with memories by the I pray the stars may safely keep and watch you while you sleep. And day by day the sun will shine as you trudge along the way. Remember, I always love you, girl. No matter where you are.
So we hit up all the tailor shop them in Port Antonio. Tailor shop up a Lovely and the one around at Summerstone Road and all the various tailor shops. Here are the man them and the people in there moving them fingers, pushing needle, making some money. Yeah, live.
There's a man that lives next door in my neighborhood. He gets me down. He gets in so late at night. Always a fuss and fight. Always a fuss and fight. All through the night. That they fall, bang against the wall, bang against the wall, no rest at all.
You tune in to Spiritual Vibration.
Spiritual Vibrations. Hope you're holding the vibes of John Holt and the Paragons. Earlier we heard from the Techniques, and we're going to wrap up this section by some songs from a group that would have to change their name in 2013. If they keep this name this year, them couldn't get nobody to come and listen to them, especially if the people them think that the name really suit them lifestyle. This is a group called the Gay Lads, and in this time we know say Bibi Seaton would not call himself gay. Yes, it's just language and transition and time. Take in the Gay Lads.
Though you thought I wouldn't see, you know, good girl. I took my baby to the dance on the night. She danced with me just once in a while. She danced all night, wearing that mystic smile. And overnight me so, she'd never let him go. No, you are not the type of girl I thought you would be. Oh no, only trying to do to me is wreck my heart.
Yeah, how much man they can shuffle? How much man can shuffle? I don't know how shuffle go. All man is rubber palm woman, bottom and back to back and face back. Who can shuffle? Who can drop legs? Yeah man, a legs music this you know. Yeah, shuffle. Watch me let's do that shuffle.
I can never forget your kiss. No, I saw you holding on to him. You know, good girl. You thought I wouldn't see. You know, good girl. Took my baby to the dance all the night. She danced with me just once in a while. Let's dance all night, wearing that mystic smile. And oh, that is so long, yeah. She never let him go.
We're skanking to midday. We're skanking right up to midday hour. Pure skank. Bibi Seaton and the Gay Lads. It's so hard to confess.
It's hard to confess to a love that's wrong. A love that's wrong. A love that's wrong can only bring pain, heartache, and sorrows to your heart. I'd soon say I do if I'd known the love was true. If I'd known the love was true. If only I knew the love was true for me and you. Happiness and joy will come our way.
Hey, at them time a man used to dance face to face with woman, you know. Yeah man, a whole of tile and just rubber dub. I tell you, can we bring those times forward? Can the woman now face the man and dance? Rather than to look from the front and the man is behind and just walk off when you feel like. But you can't do that when you have her face to face. What kind of power dynamics that? Things have changed. But are they better? I say face to face. Yeah man, look her in the eyes. the rubber dub on the tile. May I tell you, it nice.
Can only bring pain, heartaches, and sorrows to your heart. It's hard to confess to a love that's wrong, a love that's wrong. It's hard to say yes when you know the love is wrong. You know the love is wrong. It's hard to confess to a love that's wrong, a love that's wrong. It's hard to say yes when you know the love is I know why red rose made you cry. Red rose made you cry. Yeah.
Classics. Classic Gala.
That used to be. Oh, it brings back memories. Just to see that new red rose I picked and I gave to you. To you. Smile. Red rose will make you smile. Red rose will make you smile for me. I'll wear my red rose so you can see it. Then someday that little red rose will make you smile for me. For me. For me. Smile. Red rose will make you smile. Red rose will make you smile. For me, I'll wear my red rose so.
Yes, the spiritual vibrations continue here in the Styles FM. This is a segment that is designed for special artists, featured artists. And in this segment here, the groups featured were the Techniques, the Paragon, and now you're hearing the Gay Lads. It's a time in the 60s when the music was high, when singing was the essence and coordination was key. Yes, Styles FM.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
When it comes to filling a prescription, there's only one place that comes to mind. Supercare Pharmacy, 1 Bridge Street, Port Antonio. They offer 12% discounts on all prescriptions, have a truly friendly and caring staff. Not to mention, they have a wide range in household gifts and cosmetic care. And they're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And they offer the best prices in Port Antonio. And for your convenience, they're open Sundays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or call us at 715-5141. Supercare Pharmacy, the pharmacy that truly cares.
So, Bossy,
what's your problem?
See how you make Styles FM 2012 and 2013 calendar miss you? Try your best not make the same mistake again, you know. You know, see how last year them hype up the sponsors them with interviews and non-stop big up in December. Me hear say next year I go hyper. Give them a call no, because spots limited. Contact 876-439-5160, 876-439-5160 or email info@stylesfm.com for more details. You hear?
You know what? I am going to call them right now.
Mr. Brown, the work material done, you know. What me fi do?
Check Robinsons and Sons Hardware, man. Them have everything you need and more. They are at 18 West Palm Avenue, Port Antonio, Portland. Paints, nails, doors, everything to meet your hardware needs and much more. Call them at 993-9763 or 382-6209 and email them at sandarhardware@gmail.com.
Mr. Brown, me get everything we need quick and fast. Sure, maybe we could have just stopped the chatting so we could have done the work just as fast.
What was that, Johnny?
No, man. We just say Robinson and Son are going good.
Robinson's and Sons Hardware. We are always here to serve you.
I'm on the go, I'm on the go. I'm on the go, I'm on the go.
You've been standing like that beside the radio all day. Haven't you heard about Styles FM on the go?
With Styles FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, it's 020-3670-1330.
It's that easy? Wow! Styles FM on the go? I like it.
You're tuned in to Spiritual Vibration.
We're giving praises to the Almighty Son that dwells above. Yes, the Son of God, the S-U-N of God. Solar power, all the energies are coming from the Almighty Son. We don't need no descendant of Joseph and Mary. We have the Son. Because without the Son of God, there is no life.